talking about the journey, what is like the typical flow? So is it really like when you start an experiment, you're doing it from scratch, let's say in a game day, and then you are at some point integrating it into your CI/CD system? Can you maybe describe this a little bit?
Yeah. So just like any project, really, you have to crawl, walk, and run, right? So you have to start out somewhere. We first started out with our chaos engineering program by slowly just talking to certain teams and being like, hey, would you mind us, running some chaos experiments on your service in production? So it kind of started out as like, I guess you can call it a game day. We don't really use that term exactly, but it's essentially like a game day where, we choose a particular service and we're like, okay, today we're going to focus on this service. Let's run some experiments. Let's inject some latency. Let's inject some CPU stress, whatever, and see what happens. Teams are a little scared at first, like nervous, but once they start doing it and once they see, it's really interesting. You see their faces light up when they're like, "Oh, look at that! Like the latency's going up on our metric. That's really cool." Because it's not usually something they see unless there's an incident happening, right? I think them gaining that control of injecting these types of failures, I think it's like a sense of power, maybe. I don't know. So it's cool, and they actually get a little bit more interested in doing it. And we've had actually quite a few engineers across the company become very interested in chaos engineering once we started introducing it. And now they want to do it on a daily basis. But earlier we also talked about scale, right? So
Yeah.
when you're dealing with dozens of teams and thousands of services, hundreds of thousands of machines, lots of moving parts, right? Even if you had a few dozen engineers trying to sit there and manually run experiments, you're not going to make enough of a dent to really test things appropriately. So that's where we started implementing automation. So automation is one of the most important things, in my opinion. Now, there's different forms of automation. You
Yes.
mentioned about integrating into your continuous delivery system, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you deploy a canary of your service, it would be great to actually run experiments on that service to see if there's any regression. So regression checking using chaos engineering is great because it uncovers things. Because when people write tests, typically unit tests or integration tests, usually they're testing the positive case.
Happy
Like, does
path
it work?
testing, yes.
Can I talk to this machine over here? Can I talk to this service? Sure, everything works. Thumbs up. What gets overlooked a lot is the negative test cases, right? And chaos engineering can really help with the negative test cases to make sure that maybe that thread change you made or that extra mutex you added might make things look great, but when you're inducing latency, maybe that adds a lot more contention than you were expecting, things like that. So chaos engineering definitely helps a lot with those types of experiments, especially for negative test cases.